Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing Matthew 19:17 through 18 and correlations in the teachings of Buddha through, well, the teaching of Buddha. And, this one's going to be a rather short one, but to get started, I'll read out of the book. In section 3, in the duties of the brotherhood, it's practical guide to the true way of living. In the first section of that section, it says to guard the gates in these 6 directions, the 6 directions of truth mentioned in a previous video. People are to remove the defilement of the 4 deeds. And then go on through the rest of that sentence on to the next. By the 4 deeds, it is meant killing, stealing, committing adultery, and falsehood. Well, first off, all that boils down to is falsehood anyways. But in Matthew 19, verse 17, Christ says, if you want to enter into life, keep the commandments. And his disciple replies, which ones? Christ says, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness. So first off, all of it boils down to falsehood anyways. It reduces down to, well, that logical 0, right? How so? Committing murder, you're taking the life of something that is not justified. There is no true reason to the taking of that life in that instance, right? Hence murder being unjustified, killing of another, initiating that violence against another individual. That's not your life to take. You're essentially stealing that person's life, taking it away from them without due cause. Okay, so you shall not commit adultery. Adultery is essentially having sexual relations outside of the confines of one's own marriage. So when you're committing adultery, you are breaking your word, essentially an oath given to your significant other, your counterpart. In other words, you aren't being true. It's false, right? Adultery is essentially a false sexual relation. It's not built upon the concept of unity. It's built upon the concept of duality. You are contradicting your own self in that instance. Thus, not unity consciousness. Thus, not unified. You shall not steal, right? Again, stealing essentially boils down to the duality, right? A versus B. I'm going to take away from you because I feel that I am more important than you, and my selfish wants and needs are more important than you and yours, right? Me versus you. I'm going to take your stuff, and if you want to fight me about it, we can fight about it. And now, don't get me wrong, every single one of these I've broken at some point. Again, even the thought of adultery is adultery when it boils down to all that. You look at a woman with lust in your heart, or you look at a woman to lust after her, you've committed adultery in your heart already. And like I've said in a previous video, you take aim at a target, you release that arrow's going where you aimed it, whether you realize you aimed it at the incorrect spot or not. You release that arrow and it goes 2 inches to the right and 1 inch down, that's because you obviously didn't factor in something. The sin began in your mind, in the thought or lack thereof. Right, so stealing, still dual A versus B, don't steal, right? And you shall not bear false witness. whether you're just carrying around the false witness or whether you are expressing that false witness, when you lie to somebody, I mean, dishonesty, duality, not unified, right? If you're carrying around a false idea, as in bearing the false witness, say somebody told you that they witnessed something and you just took that and ran with it, you're bearing false witness. Which is why it's important to do your own research. At the end of the day, a lot of people are carrying around false witness. They are bearing false witness. But falsehood, right? Stealing, falsehood. Adultery, falsehood. Murder, falsehood. You are taking things that do not belong to you. You are holding on to lies. You are carrying around lies, falsehood. You are committing falsehoods against others, right? Your life doesn't belong to me. My life doesn't belong to you. So, just a little correlation there in the teachings of Buddha and the teachings of Christ. And hope you guys are kind of getting the picture of where I'm going with that. If you got something out of it, great. If you didn't, keep coming back. And hopefully people are starting to understand on a deeper level, like how natural law works, how being unified with oneself and with the rest of nature works, and also how contradicting one's own self and contradicting nature works, and the results of either or, and hopefully they can start adjusting in accordance with that understanding to hopefully lead to a better life to everyone else around us, and lead towards the golden age, right? The golden age, when mankind does the right thing because it is the right thing to do, right? The right thing leads to the right results, right? Wrong answers lead to ultimately getting marked down on that test. And too many wrong answers, and you gotta retake that test, Or in the Bhagavad Gita, you're to be reborn here to essentially go through all this mess again, so you can figure out the lesson. Anyways, see you on the next one.